Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to take a journey across India to check out some sacred sites with just incredible stories of faith, history, and pure survival. We're talking about everything from an apostle's tomb to colonial churches and ancient temples, so let's dive right in.
Okay, so let's just kick things off with a claim that might sound, well, a little startling. I mean, when you think about the 12 apostles, you probably think their stories ended somewhere in the Middle East or Europe. But what if I told you one of them is believed to be buried right on the coast of India?
Yep, that's right. You're looking at the Santom Basilica in Chennai. This beautiful building stands on the very spot where, according to a tradition that goes back almost 2,000 years, St. Thomas the Apostle himself was buried after his martyrdom.
And get this isn't just some local story. That number 3 you see, it's because Santom is one of only 3 churches in the entire world built over the tomb of an apostle. That puts it in this super exclusive club with St. Peter's in Rome and the Shrine of St. James in Spain. It's just an amazing link between ancient India and the very beginnings of Christianity.
Okay, so from those really ancient Christian roots, let's jump forward in time and head up the coast. We're going to see how the arrival of European colonial powers left their own, very distinct mark on India's sacred landscape.
So here we are, perched on a hill in Mumbai, looking out over the sea. This is the Basilica of Our Lady of the Mount, though pretty much everyone calls it Mount Mary Church. It's a hugely important place for so many people, but don't let that peaceful view fool you. Its past is anything but calm.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It really shows you the incredible story of survival here. So the original statue was brought over by Jesuit priests way back in the 16th century. But then, in 1700, pirates raided the church, and thinking it was gold, they actually cut off the statue's hand. Then the church itself got destroyed, only to be rebuilt decades later. It's this constant cycle of loss and rebirth.
And here's where the story takes a turn for the miraculous. After that original statue was damaged and lost, a local legend says a fisherman had a dream that he would find it floating in the sea. And sure enough, the very next day, there it was. Now that beautifully restored original is back in the basilica, a really powerful symbol for the whole community.
All right, so we've seen these Christian sites, but how does all this compare to India's much, much older indigenous Hindu traditions? To find out, we're heading south to the beautiful green landscapes of Kerala, where sacred stories are literally built into the temple walls.
Okay, so this is the Kaviyur Mahadev Temple. At first glance, it's a temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. But what makes it so interesting is that there's this really important separate shrine to the monkey god Hanuman. And that's kind of unusual, right? Hanuman is usually connected with Vishnu. Well, the reason why is all down to a story from the epic Ramayana.
So here's how the legend goes. After defeating the demon king Ravana, Lord Rama wanted to worship Shiva. So he sent his most loyal devotee, Hanuman, all the way to the Himalayas to bring back a divine Shivalinga. But the clock was ticking, the special moment to consecrate it was almost there, and Hanuman wasn't back yet. So Rama just took some sand, molded a linga himself, and consecrated it. When Hanuman finally showed up, he was heartbroken, but he was so moved by what Rama had created that he begged to stay and protect it for all time.
Okay, let's shift gears and jump to a totally different era. We're moving into the time of the British Raj, which brought a new imperial power and a completely different style of architecture to India. And this wasn't just about putting up new buildings, it was about creating a new visual language of faith and, well, power. And the difference is just wow. On one hand, you have that Kerala style we just saw, with its incredible woodworking, copper roofs, and round inner sanctums, all very local and organic. And then on the other hand, boom, you have the British Gothic style, all about imposing stone, huge pointed arches, and those famous stained glass windows. 2 completely different worlds.
And you really can't find a better example than this beautiful church. It's St. John in the Wilderness, tucked away in the Himalayan foothills. Built back in 1852, it's classic neo-Gothic. It's like a little piece of England was just dropped right into the Indian landscape, and its very existence tells the story of the British Empire's reach.
The history packed into this one place is just amazing. First off, this church is tough. It actually survived a massive earthquake in 1905 that leveled almost everything else around it. The beautiful stained glass windows, they were imported from Belgium and donated by Lady Elgin. And why her? Well, because her husband, Lord Elgin, who was a viceroy of India, is actually buried right here in the churchyard. It's like a whole chapter of colonial history in one single quiet spot. So all this history is fascinating, but these places are not just museums. They are alive. So let's bring our journey right into the present day. We're going to head back to Mumbai and see how these historic shrines are still vibrant hubs of community and faith.
Remember that quiet hill with Mount Mary Church? Well, every September, it completely transforms. The Bandra Fair kicks off, and for a whole week, the area just explodes with energy. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people. This is not some quiet, solemn pilgrimage. It's a huge, lively festival that takes over the whole neighborhood.
And the stuff you see there is just fascinating. Of course, the streets are decorated and there are stalls selling food and religious items, but then you notice something really unique. People are buying candles shaped like hands, or feet, or other body parts. They take these wax figures into the church and offer them as a prayer, a physical symbol of what they're hoping will be healed. It's such a personal and visual way to express faith.
And this, right here, might be the most important takeaway of all. The massive crowds at the Bandra Fair and the people who visit Mount Mary all year long, they're not just Christians. The sources make it really clear that people of all faiths come here to pray and make offerings. It's turned the shrine into this powerful symbol of harmony for a city as diverse as Mumbai. So from ancient apostles to colonial viceroys and these incredible living festivals, India's sacred spaces tell the story of a country with so many different layers of history and faith. And it kind of leaves you with this one last thought. The next time you walk past an old church or temple in your own neighborhood, what hidden stories of faith, conflict, and community might it be just waiting to tell you?